Daniel graduated May 28th, 2025. Aww. Daniel. Daniel came back to visit people. And is that one of Sean's drawings? Inano. There's Daniel at his job. It's so cool seeing him all grown up. And I'm happy for what Daniel became. It seems like he ended up having a really good life and became a really good person. And that's all I really cared about. In the end, I didn't care about myself. I just wanted Daniel to be a good guy and a good person. That's ever what I want, and that's what I want for my son too. Doesn't matter what happens to me. "15 years after the events at the border." Daniel's all grown up. Oh, look at him. He's so handsome. He's 25 now, because he just turned 10 years old. He looks so handsome. I'm so proud of him. It'd be nice to see Chris all grown up too. There's Sean. Oh, he's like in his 30s now. He's still young. He still has the rest of his life. He still has a lot of his life left to live and to catch up. He looks so much like his dad. He looks so much like Esteban. Oh. I mean, it stinks that he had to, spend 15 years in jail for stuff that wasn't really his fault completely, but this is worth it. This is so worth it. All right, where's Jacob? We gotta make up for lost time here. Where's my Jacob? Oh. Oh, that's is that Lila? That's Lila, I think. I think that's Lila. I'm wondering if Daniel ever ended up marrying Lila, or did he end up marrying Jake's Izzy? Jake's sister, Izzy? I don't know. I'm satisfied with that ending. It wasn't completely 100% bunnies and rainbows and puppies, but I'm very, very satisfied. I'm very satisfied with that. Woo Lila for like 20 seconds. Give us some fun adventures with Daniel and Chris now. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of disappointed on how short this episode was. Maybe they're focusing on their next series. I saw screen cap and I think the next story is also siblings, but twins this time. That would be really interesting. Oh, look at the two brothers. I like Sean with that hair. I'm happy. I'm very happy with this ending. I feel bad for Sean. 15 years is a long time to be in jail and away from your brothers and your loved ones, but there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I wonder if that's a glass eye. The white is a bit bright. For me, the length of this episode was perfect. I don't need them to draw it longer than it needed to be. I don't need them to draw this episode to be longer just for the sake of it being longer. They needed to tell the story of them at crossing the border, and they did. I love how they're like catching up and picking things up back from where they left off. And it seems, again, what I love is that Daniel just seems so happy and so proud of who he is. I'm so proud of what he became. He seems like he became a really awesome young man. And of course, Sean's being very emotional right now because he's finally with his brother after so many years, and yeah, there's been so much lost time, but now they're together, and he's, he put in his time, and, he was in his best behavior, and so they let him out 15 years later. Aww. Those two brothers. He's giving the wolf call. I would really love for Sean to tell the ending of the wolf story, now that we know what the ending is. It took us a while to get there, but they got their happy ending. It just took a little more time. I am curious about what would have happened if we did decide to jump over the border, but I'm more than satisfied with this ending. More than satisfied. So they went their separate ways for now. Just for now. Okay. Was that it? Life is Strange 2, Episode 5, Wolves. Excellent job, guys. So that was it. That was Life is Strange 2. Completely done. What did you guys think? What did you guys think of this episode? Like I said, the length was shorter than the other episodes. For me, I didn't mind. Yeah, they could have added more things, and I don't think I would have minded. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't mind if it was a little bit longer, but I also didn't mind that it was as short as it was either. It was fine. All the fun moments, bonding with all the people at the commune and playing. I love the treasure hunt. The treasure hunt was one of the favorite, simple moments that we did with Daniel. And of course, building the sculpture. That was all stuff that a lot of people could say was fluff. Sure, but it was just part of the experience of just, saying goodbye to this series, this particular season. Again, getting nods to people that we had met all through this season, getting nods from season 1 with David showing up and getting to see how he's grown as a character. I would have loved to have had an opportunity to kind of see if we ever reconnected though with some of our friends, if we ever reconnected with, our friends from the weed farm, if we reconnected with Jake and his sister and all those people. They didn't really add that to this particular ending. Maybe they would have had something like that in the other ending. I don't know. And I wasn't expecting. The thing with this game is, if we learned anything from season 1, is that I was not at all going into this episode. I was not at all expecting there to be a perfectly good ending. I figured that every single ending was going to be super bittersweet, and this definitely was a bittersweet ending. But again, like I said, I was very happy with it. I was very satisfied with what we did. I'm not really sure if even by not jumping over the border, even by surrendering, I'm wondering if our choices previously with how we wanted Daniel to use or abuse his power, I'm wondering if that would have affected how he grew up. It seems like he grew up to be a very stable, perfectly happy good person. So I'm wondering if we had made different choices throughout the season, would Daniel have lived a much darker path? I don't know. I hope that would be the case. I'm hoping that all the choices you made with Daniel leading up to this matters, because it seems like that's what the game was saying this whole time, is that, you know, you're supposed to be a role model and you're supposed to be helping to raise your brother to be the kind of person you want him to be. So I'm hoping if there are consequences to that when you surrender and you're no longer with him and you're no longer raising him, you kind of just have to rely on everything that you had taught him up to that point. And hopefully everything you had taught him that point was, for me, I was hoping was to be a good person. And it seems like he did, and he lived a very happy life. It would have been awesome if Sean had a much better outcome, but like I said, he served his 15 years, which is a long time, but when he got out of the jail, he was like 30-something, which is still young. He still has a lot of time to catch up with Jake, among other people. So yeah, what did you guys think? Even if Daniel goes like to juvie or still monitored, even with Claire Steven, it's not like some scientists will do lab experiments on him, hopefully, and they're not even armed. At least Daniel's safe. Give us some fun adventure with Daniel and Chris now. Woo! Lila for like 20 seconds. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of disappointed on how short this episode was. Maybe they're focusing on the next series. I saw a screen cap and I think their next story is also siblings, but twins this time. True. Well, I wonder if that's a glass eye. Well, it is a lawful good ending after all. There's multiple endings, so maybe they focused on that, and you do get breathing room at the beginning rather than all stressful action. I do agree with that. I think it's pretty realistic. At least Daniel wasn't impulsive enough to break Sean out of jail. Yeah, because that's not what I want him to do. There's 7 endings? Wow, that's incredible. I think it's just 4 actual endings with 3 minor alterations. I feel like that means there's 3 to 4 endings with 1 or 2 slight variations. Okay, well I'm gonna have to look up like what the 4 endings are and what are the choices that leads to those endings. The ultimate outcome of the Life is Strange 2 story reflects the accumulation of all your previous choices with regards to Daniel. His actions and demeanor are determined by what you taught him throughout the season, in interactions big and small. This will be important, particularly when he reaches a point where he may well assert his independence and start making big decisions of his own. And again, how fitting that all of this happened. The climax all happened on Independence Day, the 4th of July. Overall, I really loved this season. I enjoyed this season a lot more than season 1. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but the main problems I had with season 1 was the characters, the 2 quote-unquote main characters just did not mesh well with me very well, and it just ended up resulting in me not thoroughly enjoying the game as much as I could have. But I loved the main characters. I love Sean, I love Daniel, like they're my own children. You know, I loved the story that they had. There were a lot of things that went on, and I just loved like all of the things that they were doing and the stuff that the pacing was great, and I love how they were able to give you a chance to embrace these characters. And I also I like how the game took its time. Again, pacing of this game is great, and they embrace. The thing I love about the Life is Strange series is that they embrace the quiet moments. They embrace the chill moments. It doesn't have to be action-packed every single time. There are moments where they just want you to sit down and observe, you know, the scenery and observe what's happening, and they want you to play a treasure hunt or play action figures with Captain Spirit, or, you know, sketch, drawing, take some time to draw the atmosphere, or get a haircut with your companions, stuff like that. Like, it's not for everybody, but for people who really want to experience like the full there's a lot of realism in this game because of that. There's the realistic feel, like these characters feel like real people, and the interactions that they have, and the moments that you share with them. These little snapshots, which may ultimately not matter to the plot, to the main plot in the grand scheme of things, but that's what is so beautiful about them. That's what I really love about them, is that they don't have to necessarily play a huge role in the main plot, because they just are just moments that help enrich your experience in this game. And that's what I really love about the Life is Strange series as a whole. Voice acting was great. Art style I thought was great. I kind of feel like the engineer in me, the math and science person in me, still kind of hungers for some explanation as to where these powers are coming from. But I get that the point is the origin of these powers, or why these powers are there. I think they're trying to say is that's not the point. The point of these stories is not to explain where these supernatural powers come from. The story is about how these characters react to the powers, and that's the point of the story. But at the same time, again, the science and math is like, I would appreciate an explanation at some point. I would just appreciate it, even though that's not really the point, and not what the writers intended to be the point of this story. Sort of like how in The Walking Dead, the point of The Walking Dead's storyline is not to try to find a cure for the zombies. The point is, how do people react to this zombie phenomenon? Because they never fully explain where the zombie disease or plague came from. They never fully explained how exactly it works completely, or that's because the explanation of the lore behind zombification on Walking Dead, that's not the point. The point is how the people react to this tragic phenomenon, that and all that good stuff. So I get it. I get it, but it can be a little, curiosity. I got that curiosity. If Daniel is low morality, he refuses Sean's surrender. Oh, interesting. I think most people try to be a good big bro, and one LPR posted a bad brother alternate route, but hasn't completed uploading it yet. Good thing Hark/Sean is a great role model for Daniel. I hope so. That was intense. I need a nap now. Okay. Sweet. All right, guys. Well, as I'm waiting for the rest of these credits to fly by, you guys, this is the Q&A session now. If you have anything you wanted to ask me, it doesn't have to have anything to do with this game. It could be any random question. Please feel free to speak and ask your question now in the chat, or forever hold your peace. If I don't get any questions, that's fine. I can end it early, or if you want me to hang out for a bit and answer questions, whatever you want me to answer, I will do my best to answer however many questions you have. You probably have a lot on your plate already, but Telling Lies and Faith might be cool to check out. Telling Lies is the same creators as Her Story, and Faith is like a horror-themed game where you play as a priest. The actual creator is like Christian or Catholic, I think. So it's not at all religion is evil kind of narrative a lot of vid games have. Ooh, okay, Compare to Kiss. I'll have to check those out. Also, did you check out Jolly? They're pretty interesting. I think you'd like Reverend Chris. Is Jolly a game, or is Jolly a YouTube channel? Jolly. Pretty interesting. Rev Chris. I'll have to look up Rev Chris. So from what I've heard in the past, Chris, the name Chris is a nice name to give to people, it seems. So, any other questions? Anything else? How is parenting treating you? Oh, it's channel. It's main is Korean Englishmen. They have cool Korean culture and stuff. Oh, I love Korean culture. How is parenting treating you? Parenting, I love it. I love it. It's not easy. It definitely has its challenges, and it can be very exhausting at times. But I love every moment of it. I love it. With all the trouble, people ask me, is parenting hard? And the way I respond is, all the trouble that we went through for the last 3 years just to have our child, through all this, all the issues that we had through finding a surrogate and dealing with agencies and having to find, funding and all that good stuff, all the stresses and ups and roller coaster of emotional, exhaustive emotional stress. That was hard. And parenting pales in comparison. Parenting, I would much rather be woken up in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning to feed a crying baby. I would rather do that than go through what we went through for the last 3 years. So parenting is not easy, but in the grand scheme of things, it's way more manageable than how my life was over the last 3 years prior, if that makes sense. It was a pretty realistic ending. The tension was real during this episode. Hoping for Sean to not get shot by the cops or something. If they're both alive, there's still time for a happy ending. Yeah, there's still time for a happy ending. Maybe when you have time, you can give us a Vlogmas episode. That would be really cool. I would love to do some sort of Christmas vlog. I still like to do my Christmas specials that I do every year, that I do a little bit of a review of the past year and invite my YouTuber friends that I've made over the years to participate in it. So that's something I definitely am planning on releasing again because I just enjoy it so much. So hopefully you guys will appreciate this year's Christmas special as well. But I don't know, we might do a Christmas vlog as well. In addition to that. Have you got your sights set on any other games? Oh yes. So right now, Greedfall is a game that I'm Let's Playing at the moment, and I'm trying to get through. I'm about halfway, I think about more than halfway through Greedfall. Because it's a long game, but it's not as long as Dragon Age Origins, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So if you guys are big into BioWare games like Dragon Age and Mass Effect, I consider Greedfall to be Dragon Age Origins light in a good way. Dragon Age Origins light in a good way is how I feel about Greedfall. I have pre-purchased Final Fantasy VII Remake because I love Final Fantasy VII. So hopefully I will be able to do a Let's Play of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I also am seriously considering doing a Let's Play of Cyberpunk. Is it Cyberpunk 2077 or something along those lines? You know what I'm talking about. A special message to fans. The Whole Life is Strange 2 team wants to express its sincere and humble gratitude for your amazing support, art, gifts, passion, and theories. And thanks for your patience while we were creating these episodes. Once again, Repetitive Words, Warning Tomorrow. Keep on. I didn't have a chance to read everything. Good gravy. Before I go through this, let me finish what I was answering. So maybe hopefully I'll be able to do Steampunk 2077. I also want to start playing a lot more shorter games now that I'm a dad and my time to play and actually record is very limited. I feel like getting out some shorter games would be really fun. There is a gay dating sim called Honeydew. Is it Honeydew Valley? I don't remember what it's called. It's not, instead of Stardew Valley, it's like Honeydew Valley or something like that. It's a LGBT farm dating game. Yeah, so you play a gay farmer. I don't know if you necessarily have to be gay, but I know that you play a farmer and you have to it's a simulation. It's a farming sim, but there's also a dating element. And I think that, I feel like you have to play a male. And all the people you can romance are gay males as well. So that's something that I'm going to be playing because I haven't played one of those. I haven't played an Otome game or a dating sim game in a while. And that's something that I've had in my Steam for ages and I haven't got around to playing with it. So that's something also that I'll probably be playing before I touch Final Fantasy VII and Cyberpunk. Hopefully that answers your question. You decided to force the roadblock and Daniel accepted. You decided to force the roadblock and Daniel refused. You decided to surrender to the police and Daniel accepted. You decided to surrender to the police and Daniel refused. Majority of the people, well, not majority, the most people, 39%, decided to surrender, which doesn't surprise me. And that seemed like the quote-unquote good answer. Overall, you taught Daniel to do his best to follow the rules of society. 66%. Overall, you taught Daniel to put himself and his brother first. Yeah, that's not the message I wanted to send to my brother. That we're not necessarily above the law. We're not. You did the treasure hunt and found the hidden souvenir, 92%. You did the treasure hunt but didn't finish the quest, 2%. You refused to do the treasure hunt, 6%. You overall got closer to Karen, 82%. I was in the 18%. You overall kept your distances with Karen. Yeah, 18%. I'm in the minority there. You wrote a caring note to Karen, 7%. You wrote a conciliating note to Karen, 10%. You wrote a lukewarm note to Karen. You didn't leave a note to Karen, only 14%. All right, again, I'm still in the minority with Karen. I gave Karen, again, credit where credit was due. I left a lot of doors open. Like, I gave her a hug. I called her mom. I feel like I gave her a lot of openings for her to have a relation with them. And I mean, we forgave her. We forgave her. But I think we forgave her, but that doesn't mean that we need to be like, oh, mommy, like all of a sudden. Because to me, it just didn't feel realistic for us to be like, everything is wonderful now. You know, you're turning on the new leaf, and I'm just going to completely 100% forget everything. You know, I was like, it doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel realistic to me. So, but I feel like we have made peace with Karen. I called her mom. So I think we can see her as a mom again, even though, you know, there's still a lot of work to be done. You said farewell to Arthur and Stanley. You didn't say farewell to Arthur and Stanley. You said farewell to Joanne. You didn't say farewell to Jan. You hugged Karen before leaving. 97%. I was in the majority. You intervened to calm Diego in the cell. 78%. You settled the argument. You freed the Mexican couple. I didn't know I could have. I was trying to see if I could. I was trying to open the cell, but I couldn't. I didn't see the prompt. The prompt didn't show up, and I wanted to, but it didn't show up for me. I thought that there was a way for me to open it. You asked Daniel to open the vigilante's cell. You didn't ask Daniel to free the vigilantes. Yeah, I didn't. You asked Daniel to take revenge on the vigilantes. You didn't hurt the vigilantes. Good. You asked Daniel to kill the officers to escape the police station. You didn't ask Daniel to kill the police officers to escape the police station. Nice. Daniel was told off about the Scorpio and stopped messing with it. Daniel was told off about the Scorpio but kept on messing with it. Daniel wasn't told off about the Scorpio. Or you mean the Scorpion, not the Scorpio. Daniel managed to shut up Joanne's sculpture. Daniel managed to set up Joanne's sculpture like he wanted. Yeah, with the spider on his head. I'm surprised not more people were able to do that for him. Daniel managed to set up Joanne's sculpture with your help. Daniel managed to set up Joanne's sculpture without your help. Daniel was concerned about hurting Officer Campbell. Good. Empathy. Teaching our kid empathy. Daniel wasn't concerned about Officer Campbell, 34%. Daniel accepted to open the vigilante's cell. Daniel refused to free the vigilantes. Daniel wasn't asked to free the vigilantes. Daniel accepted to take revenge on the vigilantes. Daniel refused. Daniel didn't have to lash out at the vigilantes. Daniel killed the officers when leaving the police station. I think it's because we left as early as we could, so we didn't have to run into any more officers. Daniel knocked out the officers. Daniel locked up the officers in a closet. Daniel was forced to intervene because the officers got too close. I'm glad we didn't end up forcing him to intervene. Daniel was okay to kill the officers. Daniel was reluctant but forced to kill the car officers. Daniel refused to kill the officers. Daniel wasn't asked to kill the officers. Good. All right. Anything else? Thanks for playing and following Sean and Daniel on their journey. You're welcome. It was a really awesome wolf story. Cool. All right, guys. So, discover more games are on Life is Strange by going to the more to buy more page. Not right this moment. So, anyway, last call, guys, for any last minute questions for Q&A. Otherwise, I will be leaving shortly if you don't have any more questions. Fire Emblem would be cool. I do enjoy the Fire Emblem series. It's just, I don't know if, unfortunately, I will have time. But the original Fire Emblem series, I enjoyed a lot. Fire Emblem would be cool. Thought that might take a while, and despite all the controversy, Sword Shield seems fun for what it is, but probably more of a solo thing than recording since you don't usually do Pokemon on your channel. Yeah, I don't normally do Pokemon on my channel, mostly because I never had the ability to record off of the handheld gaming systems. I'm sure if I did enough research, I'd be able to find a way to record, but I haven't had the time to put in the effort to record handheld stuff, and I don't own a Switch yet. I don't. So, maybe Untitled Goose Game is a one-shot. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Do you usually have a consistent Twitch live stream schedule? Honestly, I don't. I normally live stream on Twitch. It's a good question. When I have episodic games, because there is a specific beginning and end to an episode. For like longer games like Greedfall or RPG games, I don't particularly like to live stream those because I feel like if I'm live streaming a game, I would like to be consistent and live stream the entire game. I know that I don't have to do it that way, but that's just how my mind operates. Is I feel like if I'm live streaming a game, I want to live stream the whole game. And live streaming an entire long RPG, the mere thought of that is exhausting to me, especially with a kid. And the fact that you have a kid right now is your schedule is like so haphazard and really is dependent on not only your schedule but your spouse's schedule and of course the baby's schedule. So having a regular live stream is not realistic for me, unfortunately. But yeah, with Life is Strange, with the Telltale games and Telltale's around, although Telltale is having a revival, probably as a different company or a different brand. If that company comes back again, I'm sure I'll probably be live streaming those games when they start coming out as well. But yeah, episodic games. The Council was also another episodic game that I like to play because it is episodic. So hopefully that answered your question. Oh, thank you. Kenpeito Kits already answered that question. Thank you. I used to see his YouTubes. It just happened to be free during the stream. Oh, thank you, Liam. Well, thank you for coming in, Liam. Bitfarp, any plans on Borderlands 3? I hear Reese isn't Troy Baker anymore. I know, Reese. Why couldn't Reese be Troy Baker? Yes, we are doing Borderlands 3 once it's available on Steam, because right now it's not available on Steam, I don't think. I think it's only available on whatever that other thing is. So we are gonna be Let's Playing it. It's still gonna be me and Alex and Lucky Jack and probably XEI or Shay. It's still gonna be the four of us. We do have plans on playing Borderlands 3. I am gonna be releasing the Borderlands DLC that I haven't released yet. That is gonna be released eventually. I just haven't had a chance to yet because we did record those. But yes, we are gonna be playing Borderlands 3 in the spring, but not right away. It seems Karen stood by Daniel in the end, at least. At least I hope so. I hope so too. It's like you gotta be at a specific angle to open the people's cell. Ah, I got it. Yeah, okay. Well, that wasn't very obvious. They could have done a better job with that. Yeah, hopefully their next game will be more clear about that. What happened to Sean at the end? I did not see him. He got the prison ending. If you had the ability, would you play Pokemon? Although it's an RPG, it's way too linear and simple story rides for your style, I think. If I had the ability, would I play Pokemon? I just feel like I don't have enough to say about the Pokemon games. I enjoy playing Pokemon, but I just wouldn't really have much to comment on, really. And so I tend to play games. Yeah, I Let's Play games where I actually feel like I have something to say or something to comment on. And I feel like the Pokemon games, I just don't have enough. Maybe I might have something to comment on here and there, but it just wouldn't be enough for me to like do a whole Let's Play of, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense. He's doing a D&D version of Pokemon with other people on his channel, although I still need to see the start of that as well. I did do a D&D version of Pokemon with other people. You guys should check it out if you like tabletop gaming and or Pokemon. It was a fun story, a fun time. Basically taking the blame for all the stuff that they did during the series, even though they weren't too intentionally malicious, but that's just how things turn out sometimes. Mystery Dungeon would be fun too. It'd be nice if they remade Coliseum or Snap for the Switch. Oh, I enjoyed Coliseum. Yeah, I like some PokeTubers, but there's not a lot of story even with some of the lore out there. Did you know that Larian Studios are making a board game based on Divinity Original Sin 2? Oh, a board game? No. That would be fun. It's already passed several stretch goals. I'm excited for it. That would be really cool to play. He surrendered at the border and got arrested and got 15 years in prison, presumably for everything. The end scenes is 15 years later. Oh, Vampire Masquerade is a cool vampire RPG too, but I don't know if that's your style. Vampires is normally not my thing. I'm not a big vampire person, although I do love Buffy. Buffy is a series I really love. But in general, like vampires and werewolves, and all that kind of stuff, not really big into that. Growing up, I don't dislike them. I just don't go out of my way to gravitate towards them. I like Harry Potter stuff, you know, magic and wizardry and all that stuff. Those are the kind of things I go for. I tend to go for. So, okay, guys. Well, I think that's it. I think my hubby is waiting for me to take care of my son now. So, thank you guys so much for watching my live stream of Life is Strange 2. Especially for those of you who are watching it at a time that isn't particularly convenient. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. Happy belated Thanksgiving for those of you who celebrated Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Ramadan, whatever, and have a wonderful Happy New Year. And I will see you guys whenever the next live stream is. I'm sure I will have one. I just don't know what game it will be, but eventually I probably will have another live stream. So until then, everybody, love yourselves, love each other. Mwah. Bye.